Okay, welcome to the Mr. He Got Game Show. Today we got a panelist of four women, four beautiful women. The guys last week, they brought it. We're going to see if the women can keep up. We're going to start off with an introduction because they're going to be discussing relationships from a female's perspective because we want to hear what the ladies got to say. April, you...
Hi, I'm April Mason, founder of Single No More, Position Yourself to Be Found, and MatchMeWithAChristian.com, and I'm a divorcee.
All right. We got Dana. Dana, up next. It's on you.
Hi, I'm Dana Roxette, a hairstylist of Atlanta, Georgia, and I am single.
Okay, Tasha, what you gonna do? Introduce yourself.
Hi there, my name is Latasha Traylor. I am single and an IT consultant here in the Atlanta area.
Keisha, step up to the mic.
Hi, I'm Keisha Herr. I'm married and I'm account manager for Lofa Industries.
Okay, as you can see, we got an all-star lineup. We're gonna take a commercial break and we're gonna come back. We're gonna go ahead and get serious and dig into some questions.
La Femme Boutique, Atlanta's new hotspot for ladies' fashion. Call for details at 678-860-0661.
Cargo Limousine Service, the finest limousine service in Atlanta. We specialize in weddings, funerals, airport arrivals, proms, and so much more. Please call us for special details at 678-886-6804.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Mr. He Got Game Show. We're gonna go ahead and get the show started. We got questions for the panelists. I'm gonna ask them a question. I'm gonna allow each one of them to respond one at a time, and then I'm gonna take one or two questions from people from the audience that may want to ask a question. So, ladies, are you ready? Are you prepared for the first question?
Bring it.
Yes, sir.
Born ready.
I don't know if you know, but they don't have an idea of what the questions are gonna be.
Don't matter.
Okay, dating scene. We're discussing relationships, okay? Now, give me a description of a good first date. What do you consider a good first date? Going to the park? Spending more than $20? We're going to start off with April.
It all depends on the individuals. I think when you're trying to get to know somebody, it doesn't have to be a lot of money spent. I would be okay with let's go to the park or McDonald's for some ice cream. It doesn't have to be a lot of money spent, because it sounds like that's where y'all going with that. Do a brother have to spend a lot of money? No, it's a date is a getting to know, and dating is nothing more than collecting data. So I'm collecting the data to see if I want to see you again.
Okay, good response. Dana, what's a good first date? You know, because the fellas want to know. We got a lot of single fellas out here, including myself. Hint, hint.
Well, I know that I want to be able to see if you listen to me and see if you have paid attention to things I have said, things that I like. So I probably would, let you take the initiative and, you choose the date, where we're going to go, what we're going to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fancy restaurant. It doesn't have to be at my house. It doesn't have to be, it just has to be creative, something where we can get to know one another. Definitely have fun, laughter, and just have a good time, and just stress-free, really, just to get to know one another, not necessarily so much pressure on it.
So in other words, if a brother meets you tonight, walk up to you and say, hey, let's go out and have a date, he doesn't have that opportunity to get to know you beforehand.
Right.
So in other words, you're just going to free flow with it and just go out with him?
Why not?
Okay.
Why not free flow?
Good response. Tasha, what's a good first date? I'm taking notes.
Well, I think that a good first date would include something very simple. I'm going to agree with my sisters to the left of me. It may include going to Starbucks, a local coffee shop, possibly walking in the park. Honestly, it's a great opportunity for the two of you to talk, get to know each other off of the telephone. I'm a huge proponent of not talking on the telephone for very long, so you should have a lot of questions for me, and we should be able to have a lively discussion. And, I get an opportunity to kind of observe, and we can, understand each other's character, behavior, what have you, but it should definitely be something that's very light, very easy, and not very much pressure.
Okay, Keisha. Keisha's a friend. I've known each one of the panelists for a long time. Keisha's recently married, so I got a married individual on the panel. Keisha, could you give the audience and the people a description of your first date?
Of my first date?
Yes, indeed. An exception to the rule, your first date.
In general, with my husband, or
Correct. With your husband.
Gosh, you guys
Correct.
want to know that. Well, I think in general, a first date should be somewhere where you can talk. Definitely where you can talk. No movies, no, I know guys love football and basketball games, and you want to take her somewhere where you're comfortable, but somewhere where she's comfortable, where you can listen to each other. And I think that if your chemistry is right, regardless of where you go, the first date will be good, whether it be to a park, to a restaurant, there's no limit on how much you can spend, but, don't
Okay.
necessarily have to spend $1 million.
But I'm going back to you, Keisha. Your first date to your newlywed husband. Where was your first date?
Gosh, my first date to my newlywed husband. Why are you guys putting me on the spot? It was actually at my house.
Bingo.
It was actually
Bingo.
at my house.
But it's an exception to the rule. I'm allowed to explain
This is
that.
an exception to the rule. He invited me out to my favorite restaurant, and I was having issues with my car and trying to cancel, and he saw that I was trying to cancel on him, and he said, "Hey, I'll come by and fix you dinner." So I got on the phone and I called the person who introduced me, and I said, "I don't know this guy. I don't want him over to my house." And he said, "It's a really good guy. Have him to come over to your house." And that was the beginning and the end, because that was all I needed.
How much time longer are you married now from that date to now? How much time has it been?
A year and a half.
Year and a half later.
Year and a half.
Exception to the rule.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go with question number 2. Does a man's income determine whether or not you would date him? We're going to start off with Tasha.
You're starting with me.
Yes, indeed.
I think the answer to that question varies on the individual and where they are with their life or within their life. For me, I am in a place where I'm interested in, enjoying someone's company. I have been fortunate enough to travel, see the world, and do a variety of things. And at this point in my life, income falls second on my list of things that are important. Compatibility and chemistry are at the top of that list. But it really depends on the individual. I'm not asking for a paycheck stub or any of that on the first date. But it is something that will indicate, how long we'll be able to date, because unfortunately, if you're unable to go out or do anything, that would present a challenge. So.
Okay, you said income doesn't matter, correct? Could I do
I
two
said
for?
it's not at the top of my list. However, it is important that there be compatibility there, which means I'm able to do certain things because of where I'm at in my life, and in order for us to enjoy each other's company, there's some give and take. However, I would like for you to enjoy some of those things I enjoy as well, and some of them include money. You have to be able to afford to participate. I can't comp you. I may do it once or twice depending on what it is, but you may do it for me once or twice. So it really depends on the individual and the situation.
Dana, does a man's income determine whether or not a brother could get a date?
Yes.
Explain your reason why.
Well, I mean, it's not. I didn't necessarily say how much. The income can vary. It can be 40,000. It could be 100,000. But it's what you do with it. And I feel like one, I need to see how you're living. Obviously, that will determine how you're taking care of yourself alone. So if you can't take care of yourself, then I know you can't add any addition with me. I know I don't have any children, but still, I am an added, expense for you. So I feel like in some way, you have to be able to play a part financially when it comes to a relationship, period.
Well, I got to ask a guy a question. Could I get you to stand up, Ron? What's been your experience so far?
With what?
with dating women in Atlanta. No, seriously. Has your experience been where you find women are looking for money? That's, seriously. Or determine how much money you make before they decide to date you?
My experience has been I typically have made more than the women I've dated. And so far, not too good, but that's just been my own experience. I mean, as far as picking women, it's more their attitude than anything else. So I don't think as far as I'm concerned, income has nothing to do with it, to be honest. If you love someone, you dig someone, you like someone, you can build together. Income shouldn't play a factor in anything.
Okay, Primetime gonna give that politically correct answer. Hey, he didn't just throw that tag out there. I make more money than they usually make anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, you got his number on his back of his shirt right now. We're gonna go to April. You got another response to that?
I agree with him, but the difference between that is men don't marry for degrees and financial stability and all of that. Most men, when they marry a woman, they're looking to see, can you be a wife? Can you be a mother to our children? However, as women, we're raised to where we are raised to talk about, can he provide for you? If you go back in the day, back when our mothers was growing up, when a man came and asked that her father, can she marry him? Could he marry her? What would they ask? How are you going to plan on taking care of my daughter? Yeah. Period.
Oh, so she gonna go back on.
So as a man that wants to be with a woman, yes, he needs to have his stuff together. However, women, like she said, should not pass over a man that has potential and has realized it. Just because you have potential doesn't mean you will live up to it. So if he's in it and he's operating in it, don't pass him up because he might be working at the warehouse. But one day, if with your help, he might be able to own the warehouse.
That's a good response. Dana has got a response to that. We're going to go ahead and let you respond to that.
I kind of disagree with that. I don't think you should date no man based on his potential, because his potential may never come.
That's what I just said.
I think I don't even think potential should even be in the vocabulary, because
But if you
a man is, you got to accept that man for exactly what he is right then and there. Now, if he increases, that's a bonus for you.
All right. We're going to move on to the next question. Are you ready, ladies?
Bring it. Of course.
Tasha, who should be the head of the household? Should it be the person making the most money, or should it be the man like the Bible says?
I honestly think that that's a misinterpretation of the Bible when it comes to head of the household. But at the end of the day, I think that the couple should decide what works best for them with regards to who pays bills, who makes certain decisions. I think it should be a joint effort, particularly myself. At this point in my life, I'm humble, but I don't know if I could come together with someone and let them literally take over. That's kind of what it sounds like you're suggesting.
Okay, no, I'm not saying take over. I'm just saying if you two are together, basically who's going to be the final decision maker,
It will be a joint decision.
Dana, from your perspective, who should be the head of the household? Should it be the person making the most money, or should it be the man like the Bible says?
The man. And I say the man, just for personal reasons. Being single over 30, I'm tired of making all the decisions. I want somebody that's gonna come along, and I'm not saying that he has to come in and just make all the decisions. But
Turner.
But I do prefer that the man be the head of my household. Period.
Keisha, from your perspective, we got the newlywed up in here. Who's the head of your household is what I want to know.
The man should be the head of the household. I think that anytime you make a man feel less than a man, it causes problems and brings in issues that you don't want to have in your household. Finances and, who makes what decisions in the house should be a collective effort, but in terms of the head of the household, the man should be the head of the household.
Yeah.
All right. So you saying, in other words, ESPN every day, right? Baby, could I watch? No. We ESPN today, okay? The Lakers on.
Oh, I didn't say that.
That's fine.
So maybe we need to clarify what that means when you say head of the household. What does that mean?
Well, basically, like I said, the person that's going to make the decisions, the person that's going to pretty much, run the house. You know what I mean? That's going to be the head person of the house. If somebody come to the house and say, I need to speak to, the CEO, who is it? Is you gonna get both of y'all and say, okay, come on in?
Well, he can be the head of the household, but I can run it. How about that?
There you go. There you go. There you go. April,
Just
April.
joking, just-
April, give your feedback. Who should be the head of the household?
Of the man, of course. I just, like my sisters here said, we get tired of making the decisions all the time. One of my favorite places in the world is in the passenger seat.
Not the kitchen?
No, because when I'm in the passenger seat, that means I'm not thinking about anything. He's there to make the decision. I feel safe with him, and if I'm married to him, that means I trust him enough to make the decisions. Now, if I'm a better money manager than he is, of course that's going to be my role. Well, if he's a better cook than I am, okay, well that's just going to be his role. But it's not, once again, this or that. It's this and that. So at the end of the day, there would be some decisions in our household. He might say, well, babe, you know what, you handle that. And I might say, well, you know what, that's a decision I think you might need to handle. So it's what works best for the couple. But at the end of the day, if I trust you and you're my husband, he's going to make the decision. And whether or not he makes or has as much money as I do or have brought into it, money doesn't determine if you are able to lead my household, because you could have the money at the beginning, lose your job, or am I going to treat you less than? No, you're still the man of the house.
Until it gets you upset.
But that sounds like two different things to me. I mean, you said head, and then you said we make joint decisions. So, I mean, can it be both ways, or does sometimes it's one way or the other, depending on what the issue is? I mean, I grew up in a household with both parents, and it was a matter of my father being the primary decision maker. Mom went to school and held it down. As soon as she got to a point where she was able to bring in a little bit more income, she finished school and did different things, my father fell ill. So things had to switch because she was the primary bread maker, and there were some decisions that she just had to make. So I think that having the joint decisions, coming together, talking through them, and then making a decision in that way alleviates the whole head, less head, what have you. In a couple, in a relationship, you got to work together. And if it's a matter of someone coming to the door and saying, who's the head? Okay, that's fine, but we got to figure this out together. So to me, my interpretation of head means he leads, I'm the neck, which means he got to talk to me. He needs the neck to move around.
I got you.
My question is, the young lady said that she believed the Bible was misinterpreted in terms of head of the household, and I guess wanted some clarification on that, because I am a biblical person, as y'all know.
Amen.
But it speaks of a helpmate. Adam, we took his rib, and he got him a helpmate. God saw that he needed someone to go through life with him, someone to be his helper. Now, I think for the greater part, we get a little bit confused on how to handle household stuff because money's involved. Like the lady said, $1,000, in one account for my shoes, and he got $2,000 for his suits, and and each relationship, I believe, works differently when it comes to household decisions. But if we're going to be straight biblical on this, then we're going to look at the scripture that says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loves the church. And wives, submit yourselves to your husbands. And because you're submitting yourselves to him, if he loving, you like Christ loved the church, that's a whole lot of love, because Christ, died and did all that.
All right. Wrap it up. Tasha, gotta wrap it. Okay, Tasha, you want to get a little clarification?
No, honestly, I agree with the doctor and her commentary. I think my question, or at least comment, was that when you say head of household, let's be clear on what that actually means. So it doesn't necessarily mean I'm the leader, I'm the boss, you do what I say. That's where I was coming from. It's more of a joint effort. As you mentioned, Christ, the husband is to love his wife like the church. It's not necessarily a dictatorship. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, I'm gonna give one more person a chance to get some feedback on that. I'm gonna stand up. Got a little testosterone up in the house.
I would say that one of the things that we might be overlooking is when you talk about a man and a woman being together, the thing that also comes into play is children. It's one thing to say that both people cohabitate and they make decisions. Ultimately, in any group, one person is going to be in charge. That's the way it happens. There's no nation and there's no organization on earth that has dual CEOs or dual presidents. That just doesn't happen because it doesn't work. But the thing that you will see is when you start having children in the household as well. If you're in a household where you have children, especially young men, and you see that the woman is in charge, you will raise a weak man. And a lot of times women in Atlanta say a lot of men are weak, and that's because of that kind of situation.
I agree.
Wow, let the brothers speak up in there. All right, all right, all right.